My feeling toward Captain Balian after he got relieved of his command was a feeling of joy because he deserved to get relieved. And my other feelings about him were of, I had no remorse for him at all, only remorse for the people. And my feeling was at the time, you know, I hope they give him the book, which I guess you could say is I hope they do as much punishment to him as they can legally do. And I know I'm not the only one that felt that way. His nature was to talk to people in such a way as to intimidate them, hoping that they would fight back. And then he would leave them alone. I had a personal incident with him at one time. We were in Okinawa. We had some very strong winds, but we had our boat booms out. A boat boom is which swings out from the side of the ship, and that's where you tie your small boats up. One of our small boats had broken away, so I had to put another boat in the water from the boat deck. Well, when you have wind like that, you have to yell, you have to make yourself heard. Being the chief in charge, it was my duty. So you have to move lines very quickly. So I'm putting the boat in the water. The captain comes out, got his stogie, he always smoked a cigar. T-shirt, no complete uniform, got his stogie on. Hey chief, what are you doing here? Come on, what's going on? What's going on? You know, and I took my hard hat, safety hat off, and I said, here captain, you want the hat? You want the job? You do it. And I stood up to him, and as a lot of other people did. But some people didn't. I did. But he said, oh, no, that's all right, chief, that's all right. Just go ahead and finish what you got to do. But just be careful, be careful. But that was one incident of he tried to intimidate me. I wouldn't let it happen. Now, there were other people that he did intimidate. He intimidated his officers in front of the crew. He had tried to intimidate his chief petty officers. Chief petty officers will not be intimidated. But his officers, a lot of them, I felt very sorry for them. And some of them, they were still junior officers, but lieutenants, and who had maybe 10 or 15 years in. And he would intimidate them to the point where there were a few of them that often cried. He made the wrong decision. And I don't know if people above him told him to bypass him or if he just took it on his own. Now, having seen the piece on 60 Minutes, you know, he says, well, the Navy has made me a scapegoat, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, that's not entirely true.
No?
I don't think so. I think he did it on his own. Let me tell you of an incident. This is a personal incident. Him and I speaking together. When we pulled into Bahrain, they have like a pool complex, an R&R complex, rest and relaxation, if you will. I was sitting over in the Chiefs Club with a bunch of the chiefs, and I had to go around to the other side of the pool to a little store or something, whatever I was doing. Anyway, I was walking back, and Captain Balian was standing over there drinking beer with a couple of other guys, and he caught my attention. He said, hey, Boats, Chief, come on over here for a minute, will you? Oh, shit. Okay, so I went over there. And he handed me a beer, and he says, he's always got his stogie in his mouth. You know, that's his trademark, right? He says, hey, Chief, you know what? I think that we ought to have one of these bog hammers. Bog hammer was a gunboat, Iranian gunboat. He says, Chief, I think we ought to have one of these bog hammers attack us. I hope they do. Then maybe the rest of these sailors will know what combat's all about. What do you think? And I'm thinking to myself, is this guy crazy? You don't intentionally want people to attack you. That was his combative nature. He wanted a bog hammer to attack us so that other sailors could see what it was like. That's insane. That's insane. He had up on the flag bridge level, we had on either side, and I manned one of them, 40-millimeter grenade launchers. So we were supposed to, if these bog hammers came, we were supposed to attack, fire upon them. I had 2 Marines with me and myself. And of course, we never did. And I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't. But that's an incident I wanted to relate, a personal incident between him and me, where it really drove the thing into my mind that this guy is nuts. Why is he saying this?